Hello and welcome to Unbuilt Giants, a series that looks at the development and demise of some of history's most notable and sometimes bizarre skyscraper projects. The Lumiere skyscraper project was an ambitious, high-profile development proposed for Leeds city centre, designed to redefine the skyline and signal the city's rising status. Planned as a pair of striking glass towers, 55 and 33 stories high, it would have become the tallest residential building in Western Europe, featuring a mix of luxury apartments, offices, shops, restaurants, and a winter garden. Spearheaded by K.W. Linfoot and designed by Simpson Hoare and Partners, the scheme promised a bold architectural statement and a major urban regeneration milestone. Despite receiving planning approval and beginning groundwork in 2007, the project was ultimately cancelled in 2010, following the financial crisis, leaving behind a site that was later redeveloped as Central Square. The Lumiere skyscraper project in Leeds emerged in the early 2000s as a highly ambitious element of a wider strategy to revitalise a prominent site in the city centre. This location, situated on Wellington Street, had previously been occupied by a Royal Mail sorting office. As part of broader urban renewal efforts, the site underwent partial redevelopment with the recladding and conversion of the original office building into residential use. That earlier phase resulted in the creation of West Point, a 65-metre-high residential tower that introduced a new residential presence in that part of the city. The success of West Point laid the groundwork for a second, more dramatic phase of development. Lumiere. Lumiere was conceived not merely as a continuation of what had come before, but as a transformative project that would significantly elevate the profile of Leeds. Discussions around the scheme began to solidify by 2004 to 2005, with K.W. Linfoot, a local property developer with a growing portfolio, taking the lead. They partnered with Redevelopment Group to co-develop the site. To deliver a visually compelling and technically ambitious design, the developers appointed Simpson Hoare as the architectural firm and WSP Group for structural engineering. The vision they proposed was bold: two modern towers clad entirely in glass, each with its own distinct character. The taller of the two buildings would rise to 54 stories, later amended to 55, and be finished in a deep blue hue. The shorter tower, at 32 stories, later 33, would be tinted in a warm reddish tone. Together, they would dominate the Leeds skyline and introduce a striking new landmark to the city's architectural landscape. The mid-2000s were a period of growing confidence in British cities outside London, with many local authorities embracing high-rise development as a symbol of economic ambition and urban renewal. Leeds, already positioning itself as a northern powerhouse, was keen to join other cities like Manchester and Birmingham in reshaping its skyline. At the time, Beetham Tower in Manchester held the title of the UK's tallest building outside the capital. But Lumiere, if realised according to its original specifications, would have surpassed it. Not only would it have become the tallest building in Leeds, it would also have taken the crown as the tallest residential skyscraper in Western Europe, a significant accolade for a regional English city. After considerable planning and consultation, the project received full approval from Leeds City Council on 21 July 2006. This milestone marked a critical turning point, confirming the city's support for the development and allowing the team to move forward with pre-construction activities. Construction was scheduled to begin in 2007, with a projected completion date around 2010. The Lumiere project was designed to dramatically reshape the Leeds skyline through the construction of two striking glass-clad towers. The first and more dominant of the two was planned to reach a height of 561 feet and span 54 stories, while the second tower was set to rise to 367 feet across 32 stories. Both structures were intended to be visually distinctive, yet complementary in their appearance. The taller of the two towers was to be finished in a predominantly blue-tinted glass, lending it a sleek, modern aesthetic, while the shorter tower would contrast with a reddish-toned cladding, offering a more varied visual identity within the same architectural language. Later, planning permission was granted to add an additional story to each tower, bringing their heights to 564 feet over 55 stories and 370 feet over 33 stories. The structural design of the towers called for a concrete core in combination with a steel frame to support the load of the buildings. Both towers were to be enveloped in glass curtain wall facades, a choice that would give the development a reflective and luminous appearance, especially striking against the changing Yorkshire skies. The scheme also included a winter garden, a shared internal space designed to bring greenery and light into the urban setting, positioned to link the two towers and provide a focal point for residents and visitors alike. Had it been completed, Lumiere would have stood not only as the tallest building in Leeds, but also as the tallest residential structure in the whole of Western Europe at that time. It was set to overtake Beetham Tower in Manchester, which previously held that distinction. The development was ambitious in scale and scope, offering a total of 952 apartments, including approximately 650 designed in collaboration with YOO, the design company co-founded by Philippe Starck. In addition to residential units, the proposals included 20,000 square feet of retail space intended to accommodate shops and boutiques, as well as 10,000 square feet of flexible office space. The plans also incorporated a range of hospitality and leisure amenities, including restaurants, cafes, and communal social areas designed to foster a vibrant, mixed-use environment within the heart of Leeds city centre. Site clearance for the Lumiere development began in the spring of 2007, marking the initial physical step in what was intended to be one of the most significant construction projects in Leeds' modern history. This preparatory phase involved the removal of previous structures, followed by extensive excavation and foundational work, which continued well into the middle of 2008. By June of that year, piling works had been completed by Cementation Skanska, laying the groundwork for the two planned towers. The project appeared to be progressing, with expectations still high among stakeholders, investors, and the wider public. However, by the summer of 2008, the global financial crisis was beginning to exert serious pressure on major developments across the UK, and Lumiere was no exception. On the 9th of July 2008, KW Linfoot, one of the principal developers behind the project, announced that construction would be suspended indefinitely. They cited the worsening economic conditions and uncertainty in the property market as key reasons for the pause. Despite this setback, the developers continued to pursue modifications to the scheme. Later that year, they secured planning permission to add an additional floor to each of the towers, marginally increasing their planned heights. Nevertheless, this amendment failed to breathe new life into the stalled project. The situation worsened in early 2009, when KW Linfoot entered administration. Although their joint venture partner, Fraser's Property, took over the development and maintained that Lumiere would still be delivered, there was little visible progress. In August 2010, any remaining hopes for the project were extinguished when Lumiere LP, the company formed to manage the scheme, entered voluntary liquidation. It was announced that the development was no longer financially viable and that despite sustained efforts from its directors and partners, the decision had been made to begin liquidating the assets. Buyers who had reserved apartments off-plan were informed that their deposits, totaling millions of pounds, would be recoverable through Zurich-backed insurance policies. 3 years later, in 2013, a completely new plan was unveiled for the long-abandoned Wellington Street site. The new proposal, named Central Square, represented a more conservative approach to the location's redevelopment. Rather than a pair of landmark towers, the new design called for an 11-story office building with space for up to 2,500 workers. It also featured various amenities, including a sky garden, multiple restaurants and bars, and a gym. After a period of public consultation and planning processes, construction of Central Square commenced, and the building was completed by the middle of 2016. Today, Central Square stands in place of what was once envisioned as the tallest residential building in Western Europe. The site, which had remained derelict and symbolic of the financial crash's impact on the property sector, has been transformed into a functional, though comparatively understated, office development. The story of Lumiere serves as a reminder of the ambitious architectural dreams that were derailed by global economic instability and the vulnerabilities of speculative investment in large-scale urban projects. While the original vision has long since faded, the memory of Lumiere continues to echo through Leeds' planning history as a symbol of what might have been. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more episodes coming soon. See you next time.